G'day everyone, it's now time for another Carnivorous Plants nursery update. It's almost the end of February, it's almost the start of autumn or fall for my US YouTube followers. I tell you what, looking back, it's been an incredible and extreme season. We started off with a really dry spring, and that dryness or drought continued well into summer. It's been our driest summer on record. At the same time, we had bushfires starting even before spring. As the temperatures and dryness increased, then the numbers and intensity of those bushfires also increased. At one stage we had smoke coming around here because we're not so far away from a major bushfire that was around our water catchment area, Warringamba Dam. But I'm so glad to say now that in the last 3 weeks we've had beautiful torrential rain. Not only has that extinguished those bushfires, but everything is a lot more greener and a lot more lush, including my lawn behind me. I'm even starting to hear crickets at night, which is really nice to hear. So I can't wait to show you my carnivorous plants. I hope your plants are growing well. My name is Jerry from Succulent Flytraps. Okay, so here I am on my lofty Carnivorous Plants wooden platform. Just give you an overview of what they look like. Now you'll notice that a lot of these pitchers are falling over or leaning over. The reason is because, as you probably heard in my intro, we did get some torrential rain around about 3 weeks ago. It must have rained for about 3 days and it was pretty heavy rain. Normally the pitchers are okay when it doesn't rain too much, water gets into it. But when it is torrential, when it's heavy rain, a lot of water gets into those pitchers. That makes the pitchers heavier, which causes them to sort of lean over. It may not look the best, but it doesn't hurt the plants in any way. If you have a lot of water in some of your pitchers, you may want to just sort of pour the water out a little bit. Not too much, because there's still nutrients in there, so just enough to sort of make the pitcher a little bit lighter, and then you may want to just sort of rest that pitcher up against another pitcher or sort of against another plant, just to make it look a little bit nicer. But overall the plants are growing really well. This rain that we've been getting, it really has turbocharged their growth. There must be something in rainwater, I don't know what it is, but yeah, they're all looking quite nice. Look at this beautiful Sarracenia flava variety, is called Caprea. Love those copper coloured tops. Yeah, absolutely gorgeous. We've had a lot of insect activity since the rain, and combined with this beautiful sunshine. And I'm seeing lots of ants up here. I'm hearing a lot of buzzing noises. So yeah, the plants are definitely more than happy. So let's just come down here. Look at this beautiful G16 x G14. I know I keep bringing it up, but this is one of my favourite Venus's Flytraps. Just love that vertical growth of those leaves. It's just the variety, that's what they do. And just love those beautiful red colour traps. This one here hasn't got too many closed traps, not too many digesting insects in there, but it's looking healthy just the same. And of course down the bottom here are my beautiful tropical sundews. Looking very nice. That flower there was actually open this morning and now it's closed. Just goes to show just how briefly they open those flowers. Remember, these tropical sundews have self-pollinating flowers. They don't rely on insects to pollinate, so that explains why they only briefly open their flowers. It's the action of the flower opening and closing that creates fertile seeds, which then disperse and then grow into clones of the mother plant. Now, talking about self-pollinating flowers, have a look at this beautiful flower here. This is a beautiful flower from a Drosera capensis. It's a South African sundew. Have a look at that. Love that beautiful deep purple colour. It's on quite a large stalk, and of course that's the plant there. I've had this plant here for about 2 months now. Bought it as a bare rooted stem, and it really has settled in nicely.
Just love looking at these leaves. When you see bent leaves like this, it's always a sign that it's caught something there. This leaf here looks like it's really caught something. Don't know exactly what it is, but yeah, these leaves always tell a story, just like these Venice's flytraps. Whenever you see them closed, you know that something's being caught. Moving along over here, this is a shark's tooth Venice's flytrap, growing nicely. Coming over here, this is another big mouth. You can see how many leaves there are in there, really coming up strongly. And this is one of my larger ones over here, big mouth variety again. Okay, now here in front of me are my Albany pitcher plants. These are native Australian pitcher plants. Just going to show you what they look like. I've just taken that shading cloth off. I've only had these for about 2 months, so just sort of easing them into the outside conditions here. And I'm doing that by putting on that shade cloth, 50% shade cloth. And I'm providing a little bit of humidity by wrapping the pots up with this plastic. This one over here is sort of struggling a bit, but hopefully that will pick up soon. And I've got another one over here. Yeah, when I put my finger there, you can feel the humidity in there and the slight heat as well. So I'll put that shade cloth back on later. Alright, so just moving along here, you'll notice these larger pitchers starting to form. These are from the Sarracenia leucophila, the Tarnock variety. And you can see here the pitchers are getting bigger compared to the ones that were produced in spring. These are the smaller spring pitchers and summer pitchers. The reason why they're coming up bigger now is because Sarracenia leucophila are an autumn peaking species. And I tell you what, I can't wait to see them come up strongly. Not just their numbers, but just their size and their height. It really is impressive to see. Now that autumn's just around the corner, yep, that's the reason why they're really starting to peak. Alright, so moving along here, and you can see here, every time I look at this picture, it reminds me of those hot days that we used to get. It's sort of cooled down a bit now, but back in summer we had a really hot day here. This picture here was forming, and in the morning I saw it, and then when I came home from work I saw it drooped over. The reason is because broadside of this picture is facing the western sun over there, and of course the strongest sunlight is when it's setting in the west, and that's what happened here. It affected this picture and it just drooped over. So yeah, every time I see that picture, it does remind me of those really hot days we were getting. Must have been around about 44 degrees. Yeah, unbelievably hot. But overall, I'm really proud of my plants, all of them. They've really surprised me in how tolerant they are to the hot temperatures. It's just a legacy of just how well I've looked after them, made sure that their water is always replenished and always full, that they're sitting in the pots, and these foam boxes keep the water nice and cool. So yeah, they really did come up strongly and relatively unaffected by the hot weather. Okay, so just moving along over here. Yeah, that beautiful picture, love it. Just moving along over here, got these Venice's flytraps, big mouth. They're growing nicely. More and more pitchers have sort of come over them now with the falling pitchers because of the rain. It's provided a lot more filtered light, but doesn't affect the Venice's flytraps in any way. They're still growing nicely. Have a look down here. I decided this year to do a bit of an experiment. I had some moss, and rather than filling it all the way up with peat moss and covering it with moss, I thought I'd put the moss down to the lower part of the pot. Now it's a lot cooler down there and also receives a little bit less light, and I was very surprised to see how quickly the moss flourished. Look at that, looking very, very healthy indeed. And inside there you may even see some Sundew. There we go. Yeah, so yeah, it's just amazing how you get a little bit of cool water and not that much sun, just how quickly it starts to grow. And I think that's the reason why it grows so well around the base of the plants. It doesn't receive that much sun because it's been blocked by the leaves, and it's nice and cool there, so that's why it grows very nicely. Okay, moving along over here. Okay, look at this. Look at these beautiful pictures coming up here. This is another Sarracenia leucophila species. The variety is called, or the form is called red veins. What I love about these pictures, now that it's autumn, again, this is the reason why they're coming up now strongly. All these pictures down here were produced in spring and summer. You can even see Phyllodia, which are the non-carnivorous leaves. They're the flat ones here, see that? But look how beautifully they're coming up now. Just, I love it this time of the year. I love it when these Sarracenia leucophila come up with their beautiful pictures. They're coming up bigger, they're coming up taller. And yeah, they're definitely starting to peak right now as I speak. But yeah, watch this space, because as these develop, I'll be putting them up on my Facebook page. Yeah, absolutely love them. You'll notice here that there's a lot of these Phyllodia. So these are the flat non-carnivorous leaves. So as you've probably seen in my previous YouTube videos, I do talk about North American pitcher plants peaking at various times of the year depending on the species. The Sarracenia flava are spring peaking, and as the season develops into autumn, more and more of these Phyllodia develop. So it's perfectly normal, and it's just a reflection of what time of the year it is and what plants you have. Again, you can see more and more of these pitchers falling over. Some are even, these are the original spring pitchers. I should have sort of cut them off by now, but just left them on there. But yeah, you can see just how much rain we had. And down the base here, have a look at this. I've got this beautiful red piranha Venus's flytrap growing around the base of this red pitcher plant. And because it sort of hasn't been getting that much light because of these pitchers over here, then it hasn't become so red. So you can see here there's a lot more green there. It should be sort of a more intense red. It just goes to show when it gets sort of less light, just how plants change their coloration. Yeah. But it's still growing healthily and very, very vigorous looking as well. Moving along over here, more Flytraps, of course. Oh, this one here's been going well. It's got 1, 2, 3 traps there that have closed up and they're digesting, looking at how they've sealed their traps up. Sometimes I like to look over there on the side in the silhouette, see what's caught, but a bit hard to see here. But they're all looking really well, looking very nice. Oh, there's a buzzing noise coming from here. Yeah, there's been a lot of insects around lately with this rain. Coming down here, there's a little miniature garden that I have, sitting in some water, looking very, very nice. And of course these ones over here are looking good as well. Yeah, it's all looking very nice. As I said, the rain has really turbocharged them. And there's another South African Sundews. One of them flowered before. You can see here how the seeds have dried up. That's self-pollinating, so wherever those seeds land, they'll come up with new plants. And these are more Sarracenia flava rubicorpora varieties. You can see all these flat leaves here, and every now and again you'll see these beautiful, cute pitchers. Small, but they make up for it with their beautiful, intense red coloration. Cute, very, very cute indeed. Alright, so there you have it. Just an update there about how many plants are going. As I said, we had a season of extremes. Hot temperatures, the bushfires, the dry weather, and now this torrential rain. So my plants have gone through a lot, but as I said, I'm very, very happy with how they've progressed. They're looking very, very healthy, and I hope your plants at home are going well as well. So until next time, happy growing.